Well, after a long wait, India is set to get its own set of Rafale fighter jets. The jets will be landing any moment now at the Ambala Air Base. The aircraft have entered Indian airspace in style, flanked by two Sukhoi 30, a multi-role combat fighter. It's making its way to the Ambala Air Force Station. Grand preparations have been made at the Air Force Station to welcome the jets. Air Force Chief is also there to receive the aircraft. And security has been tightened around the airbase in Haryana. The squadron of Rafale jets have 3 single-seater seats and 2 twin-seaters. Now, authorities have imposed prohibitory orders banning photography near the Air Force base. Private flying jets have also been banned from flying within a 3-kilometer radius. But India, for a short moment from now, the Rafale fighter jets are set to land at the Ambala Air Base. Now, this is set to be a complete game changer that is going to bolster India's air defense. It's a 4th generation fighter jet. It's a 2-engine aircraft and its top speed is 2,222 kilometers per hour. The addition of this is going to hugely boost India's air defense system. It can climb up to 60,000 feet per minute. This is a phenomenal aircraft, and India is certainly going to be aided by its addition to the forces. It has aerial reconnaissance, ground support, an in-depth strike and an anti-ship strike as well. Its reach and combat radius is between 1,600 to 1,700 kilometers. It's also capable of long-range standoff missions and equipped with air-to-ground missile system. It is especially designed to take off from extremely cold, high-altitude regions, and it gives the ability to engage the enemy fighters from a distance without being trapped. It certainly is going to be a game changer for the Indian Air Force, and a short while from now it is set to land in the Ambala Air Force Station. A short while ago, the Raksha Mantri, the Defense Ministry, tweeted out a video of the Sukhois accompanying the Rafale jets as they are about to land a short while from now at the Ambala Air Base. It's said to be a complete game changer that is going to boost India's air defense system. It is a twin fighter jet system, remember, that can perform a number of actions at the same time. Its capacity to attack air and ground targets from a distance is also something that is set to make it an extremely crucial aspect of India's air defense force. Remember, Air Marshal Dhiraj Kukreja joins us on the phone for more. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you just explain to our viewers how this really is a game changer for the Indian Air Force and what this brings into our arsenal?
Good afternoon to you. You yourself used the word game changer. Now, you see, game changer is, you can define a game changer as something that the adversaries do not have, and it changes the scenario totally in case of a conflict. Now, as far as Pakistan is concerned, it has got F-16s. But it has got F-16s which are what is known as Block 52 or Block somewhere around that number, Block 50, 52 or whatever it is. That means they are very old model. It's a very old model. The F-16 has been offered to India also. In case we go for it, then that will be Block 70 plus. So you can make out the difference yourself, that from Block 50 to Block 70, how many different models have come up in between. Similarly, China has been flaunting its J-20 as the latest 5th generation aircraft. But first of all, the J-20 is I would call it as a poor copy of the F-22 Raptor of USA, United States Air Force. And it has got its own limitations. Not 1, 2, but a fair number of limitations. It may be good in stealth, that it has a small radar cross-section sideways or maybe from the front. But from the rear, it is very visible to the radars and it can be spotted. Whenever the J-20 has come into Tibet for some exercises, it has been spotted by the Indian Air Force. Similarly, it does not have the avionics that it was supposed to have. It does not have the engines that it was supposed to have, and hence its maneuverability is quite poor. Now you come to the Rafale. Rafale is a tested aircraft. It has been flying. It has participated in major combats in the world, major conflicts in the world, starting from right next door in Afghanistan. Okay, so the capability of the aircraft is known, and when it is known to the adversary, if the Indian Air Force has got it, it is known to the adversary. So the adversary automatically becomes a little chary about the whole thing, about Indian Air Force capabilities. Okay, so that is why it is called a game changer. How will it affect the strength of the Air Force? Well, we've just got 5 aircraft as of today. We are getting, I wonder if all of them have landed. But the thing is that the remainder aircraft, 5 more, are of course handed over to the Indian Air Force, being used for training in France itself. And the quarterly delivery of further aircraft and the complete 2 squadrons will come in by end of next year. So 36 aircraft coming in, slight boost to the numbers. We are down to our bottom levels, rock bottom levels of numbers of combat squadrons, which we need. We need 42. We are just about 30 or 31 or so. So, it will definitely, but since the capability of the aircraft is such, maybe you can say, if you start counting, then maybe you can say that it will boost the capabilities of the aircraft, or of the Air Force. But we definitely do need numbers.
Rafale jets.
Hello?
No, we definitely do need
Airspace and Ambala. This is a moment each and every Indian Air Force officials had been waiting for. Rafale jets of Indian airspace, and any time they are going to land here at Ambala Air Base. And they are going to land at Ambala Air Base, and this is the moment, a big moment, in fact, a big moment.
Well, just a few moments from now, the Rafale jets are set to land at Ambala. It's been a long journey for this particular jet to land, but as all the experts have been telling us, it certainly is a game changer. It is going to add to India's air defense systems. This jet has traveled around 7,000 kilometers, making its way to India from France with a single stop. They are equipped with the MICA weapon system, which is integrated as well into...
I can't say that how excited I am feeling. This is the moment each and every Indian had been waiting for. Short while back, just a minute back, we saw 5 of the Rafale jets entering Indian airspace here at Ambala. In a short while, they'll be landing here at Ambala Air Base. This was the moment everybody, right from the Indian Air Force to the 1.3 billion Indians, had been waiting for. They had been praying for this moment. It is a safe homecoming. We already saw a short while back, there was a message from the defense minister's side, and now this Rafale jets, they entered airspace. I can tell you, there had been a lot of excitement among each person who had been waiting here. Hundreds of people had been right now there on their rooftops trying to have a glimpse of this aircraft, because since morning, all of us had been waiting for this moment, because we were not allowed to enter inside the airbase because of the security reason. But yes, we were finally able to have the glimpse of aircraft. First, it was the 2 Rafale jets that entered inside. It was led by the group commander, and who is the commanding officer of the squadron, commanding officer Harkirat Singh, followed by another 3 Rafale jets. Now they have, short while back, they have landed at the Ambala Air Base. What we have been told, that already Air Chief Marshal R.K. Bhaduria, he is there to receive all these pilots, because it was not an easy journey. It was a very tiring journey, sitting in a small cockpit for hours together, though they had only one stopover, that at Abu Dhabi. And from Abu Dhabi, they started despite bad weather conditions, so many things. They were able to reach here. Since morning, all of us had been waiting for this thing.
Well, a short while from now, it is going to be landing those 5 aircraft. Air Vice Marshal Dhiraj Kukreja is still with us. Mr. Kukreja, help us understand this entire process, because we're all complete laymen. We don't. Okay, we lost our line with Air Vice Marshal Dhiraj Kukreja. We'll try and get back to him, but a few moments from now, a game changer, as it is called, is going to be landing on Indian soil.
It has already been building up for quite some time, and all of a sudden when we heard that sound roaring over the sky of Ambala, everybody was excited. For a moment many people even skipped their heartbeats, because it was a thundering voice that roared over the sky of Ambala, and these fighter jets have finally landed at Ambala Air Base. This is considered to be one of that historic moment, because it's a historic air base. Since 1990 this historic air base had been functioning, and we saw that earlier also there had been so many historic moments, and it has been testimony to so many historic occasions. So far as the military aviation is concerned, everybody had been waiting for this moment. Everybody is quite excited. The Air Chief Marshal is already there. He is going to receive all those pilots. This was led by the Group Commander Harkirat Singh, who is the commanding officer of this squadron. They have 5 Rafale jets. First it was the 2 Rafale jets. They entered the Ambala airspace. Then finally it was the 3 more Rafale jets that followed, and they have landed short while back. So it was really a big moment, because before these Rafale jets entered, we saw the helicopter hovering over the sky. That was an indicator that they were trying to ensure security, because today this area has been declared no-fly zone. No other aircraft was supposed to fly in this area other than Rafale jet, because Rafale jet was here to be welcomed by all senior IAF officials. In fact, many people from Ambala, all roads today is leading to this place. Everybody wanted to have a glimpse of this fighter jet. This is considered to be 4.5 generation fighter jet, because it has got the capability to destroy any kind of enemy installation while being in their airspace, because it has got a weaponry, it has got sensors, it has got advanced avionics, it has got the electronic warfare system. That means the adversary will not be able to jam this stealth bomber. It cannot be tracked easily, and this is the only aircraft, because earlier what Indian Air Force was finding difficult, what it was lacking, because they were not having sensor system so far as long range engagement was concerned, that was lacking so far as Indian Air Force was concerned. But with this game changer, this is the kind of a Brahmasastra. Finally Indian Air Force has got Brahmastra with them, and with this Brahmastra they can send shivers down the spine. I think the message by now, this thundering noise that had been there on the skies of Ambala, that must have sent shivers down the spine of both Pakistan, because from here it's an 8-minute journey for the Rafale to reach the international border and target any of the locations in Pakistan, and within no time they can even move towards high altitude. That's what's called Omni All Supersonic Jet, because it cannot only be used for maritime operation, but it can also work. It has got a gold star. That means it is very good so far as high altitudes like Daulat Beg, Goldie and many other places are concerned. So that way it is going to be a game changer. It's a force multiplier. It is going to add to the capabilities of the Indian Air Force, combat capabilities, because this Air Force's aircraft is really going to make a difference. And you can see lot of excitement. All these 24 force personnel, they had been guarding this area since morning. Now they too are feeling a little bit relaxed, because they also wanted to ensure security of this area.
Well, certainly it is a game changer. Certainly India's air defense systems are going to be boosted tremendously by the addition of the Rafale jets. A short while ago, the 5 aircraft Rafale from France have landed in Ambala. It certainly is an important moment for India's air defense capabilities. Remember, this particular aircraft has capable for long-range standoff mission. It is equipped with air-to-ground missile system. It is fully, and this is the important part, it is fully capable to fulfill the urgent operational requirement of the Indian Air Force. Remember, its addition to the Indian Air Force itself was mired in controversy ahead of the Lok Sabha elections, but I'm sure nobody can disagree with the fact that India certainly needed operational requirement of the Air Force. Right. This particular aircraft, as I was saying, it has a reach and combat radius of 1600 to 1700 kilometers. It can provide in-depth strike, and it is specifically designed to take off from extremely high cold altitude regions, as we were just hearing from former Air Vice Marshals about the importance of that when it comes to versus the Air Force of Pakistan and versus the Air Force of China. This certainly is going to give India an additional advantage over our neighbors. Now, it has a multi-directional radar system which can detect 40 targets at the same time in a range of over 100 kilometers. It also has an advanced radar warning receiver to identify hostile tracking system, which is, of course, again, a very important advantage that India will have with its addition. Rafale will also ensure that our pilots will not have to cross our border to strike the targets, since it can travel around 600 kilometers. Its range is 600 kilometers in enemy territory. So this is a very important additional feature of this jet as well, that it can ensure that our pilots will not have to cross the border to strike any target. It is a two-engine aircraft. Its top speed is 2,222 kilometers. It is a fourth-generation fighter jet, and its operational range is about 3,700 kilometers. The jets are armed with deadly weapons, advanced avionics, radars, electronic warfare systems, and a self-protection suite to ensure superior survivability in hostile contested airspaces. Now, it is just short while ago that five Rafale aircraft have landed on Indian soil. They have landed in Ambala. Remember, this particular aircraft has traveled around 7,000 kilometers from France, making just one stop in UAE to refuel. It was French defense major Dassault Aviation which manufactures Rafale, and it is supposed to be the entire consignment, remember, is 36 aircraft, which is going to be completed as per schedule at the end of 2021. So this is just the first batch of 5 aircraft that have arrived. The full consignment, the full squadron will arrive on the 36 aircraft will be completed by the end of 2021. It was in September 2016 that the Indian government had placed an order of 36 Rafale jets with Dassault Aviation. It was a deal worth 59,000 crores. Remember, in the run-up to the Lok Sabha election, it had become a contentious political issue with the opposition raising questions, but surely nobody can doubt the capability of this particular aircraft. Well, we have some breaking news. Right, we have the Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, who has tweeted a short while ago saying the birds have landed safely in Ambala. The touchdown of Rafale combat aircraft in India marks the beginning of a new era in our military history. These multi-role aircraft will revolutionize the capabilities of the Indian Air Force. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh tweeting a short while ago, welcoming the addition of the Rafale aircraft in the Indian Air Force, saying the birds have landed safely in Ambala. The touchdown of Rafale combat aircraft in India marks the beginning of a new era in our military history. These multi-role aircraft will revolutionize the capabilities of the Indian Air Force. Right. The Rafale jet, remember, the Rafale deal was signed in September 2016. The Indian government had placed an order for 36 Rafale jets with Dassault Aviation in a deal worth 59,000 crores. Now, this is just the first batch of those 36 which have arrived in India. The entire batch will be completed. The entire batch of 36 will be on Indian soil by the end of 2021 actually. Now, in accordance with the contract, Indian Air Force pilots and supporting personnel have been provided full training on aircraft and the weapon systems by Dassault. At least 12 Indian Air Force pilots have been trained in operating Rafale, and further batches of the Indian Air Force pilots will be continuing their training over the next 9 months. Remember, this is also the first time for the Indian Air Force that this Rafale jets has been inducted, and that's why you have pilots who have gone to France to train the use of them. Right now, there are 12 pilots who are fully trained in operating the Rafale, and a further batch of them will go over the next 9 months to France in to learn and to use in operation this particular aircraft. There are also 13 specific India-specific enhancements such as radar enhancements, Israeli helmeted mountain displays, low-band jammers, cold start capability from high-altitude region, and 10-hour flight data recording, infrared search and tracking systems. These are a series of India-specific enhancements that India and France reached an agreement on what, given India-specific conditions and India's neighborhood, we would need. This is basis that. This is, remember, it's traveled around 7,000 odd kilometers from France, which is making just one stop en route. The jets are armed with deadly weapons, advanced avionics, radars, electronic warfare systems, and self-protection suites to ensure survivability in hostile, contested airspaces. Right, it is said to be a game changer. It is an omni-role aircraft with a fourth generation fighter jet. Its top speed, remember, is 2,222 kilometers per hour, something that the Indian Air Force is in need of. More importantly, this is specifically designed to take off from extremely cold, high altitude region, given our neighborhood and the hostile nature of our neighbors. I think this is a very crucial part of its capabilities. It can also carry the best long-range air-to-land missile. It has a multi-directional radar system which can detect 40 targets at the same time in a range of over 100 kilometers. Right, Air Vice Marshal Mathisaran joins us on the phone line. Good afternoon to you, sir. We were just discussing the major aspects of this particular aircraft and how its induction really boosts the Indian Air Force. Now, India for the longest time, as a result of controversies, as a result of defense deals gone wrong, has not been able to induct these capable aircraft. And not just an aircraft, this also exceeds, of course, to the military. So what is the importance and the significance that these 5 jets and later, of course, the entire lot of 36 brings to the Indian Air Force?
Yeah, just correct you. It's not Air Vice Marshal, Air Marshal. Okay, that's fine. The significance is the fact that the Rafale has finally arrived in as part of the Indian Air Force. It is a process that's taken almost 20 years, and we are all happy that finally the and that's an important element. While it's taken a long time, it is now time to look forward, and this aircraft will bring a significant value addition, significant capability jump. And we need to look at building the force strength as quickly as possible. So 5 aircraft is just the first element, but you need to complete the squadron. And therefore, I'm sure that the other remaining aircraft will come as scheduled. By February, you'll have a full squadron operational. And the second squadron will be operational by end of next year. And 2 squadrons will bring a significant capability to the Air Force in terms of a quantum jump in the capability that both in sensors, in radars, and in weapon systems. But you must remember that you need numbers, and the numbers are 2 squadrons is minimum that we have. The Air Force can then look forward to filling the other shortfall. The Air Force is short of nearly 12 squadrons as of now, and it needs to look forward to how they are going to fill up the gaps in the coming years with the remaining, whether acquisitions or indigenous development, whatever it is. That is the government's, responsibility. Yes.
Right, Air Marshal Matheswaran, just one quick question for all our viewers. What is the next procedure? What happens next? Because you have these 5 jets that have just landed in Ambala. Take us through the procedure of what happens next and when it's finally inducted to the Air Force.
They are, the moment they've come in, now they need to settle down. They will, firstly get these 5 aircraft and ability to operate in the Indian skies as quickly as possible. And they have to train the remaining, air crew of the squadron. They'll have to also get the technicians and others trained. It's all a reasonably involved process. And that will take better part of the year. And so people will have to be trained. There's a training process. Infrastructures will have to be established. I'm sure already the basic infrastructure is already well established. But they have to now train the full squadron. See, the people who brought in the aircraft are the core team. The core team will now train the rest of the squadron completely. And then they will have to start, training in terms of exercises, in terms of operations, in terms of weapon deliveries. All those factors will go through over the next many months. And this is important. So when you call a squadron fully operational, only when your full squadron is, fully equipped with 18 aircraft, full weapons complements are fully there with them. They've all practiced, they're all fully trained, and they are able to undertake any task that is assigned to them by the air headquarters, the command headquarters, and the country.
So thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you taking us through that entire process and what Rafale really brings to India's air defense capabilities. Also joining us on the phone line is journalist Manu Pabi. Manu, good afternoon to you. Obviously, this entire deal was mired in controversy, especially in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections. But nobody can deny the fact that its induction gives India a huge advantage.
There was a lot of controversy over it, but remember, there was never any controversy over the selection of the aircraft itself. So the Rafale was chosen by the UPA and by the NDA. The controversy was on, the contours of the deal. But in terms of capability, as you rightly said, I think there's certainty that the aircraft is indeed special. It is the most capable aircraft, I think, now in our sub-region. Nothing which Pakistan has or even China has in its inventory comes close to matching the capability this brings. And as we saw in Balakot, there were certain deficiencies in our system in terms of engagement range air-to-air and even weapon delivery. So this Rafale takes care of a lot of that. And the timing of it is interesting, it's crucial. I remember there's some special things that happened before the Rafale have come in here because of what's happening with the China border. When the defense minister had a chat with his counterpart in France, we had requested some early deliveries of weapon systems. So even though some of the weapons like the cutting-edge Meteor and the Scalp and some other weapons were to come later, France has been an exception by giving them to us earlier. So I think we will see the Rafale getting pressed into action, into operations much earlier than anticipated. And I think that's going to give us an edge. And given the current context with China, the extreme importance that jets are in place. And as we go ahead, every 3 months, I think we'll get a new batch of fighters in. So we'll quickly build up the squadrons, both at Ambala and in the northeast.
Right. Manu, I'm so sorry to have to interrupt you. We need to slip into a short break. We'll try and connect with you again for more insights onto this. But for now, we need to slip into a short break, but plenty more on the other side, so don't go anywhere.